What's going on, my own Padawans? Steel Jedi here, and today I want to talk about a new channel series that I wanted to start. Don't know what I'm going to call it. You'll see in the title below. But this is basically just my personal thoughts and what I've learned in a year of doing mock drafts and a year of scouting college football players. So what I wanted to talk about was the different theories that teams use when they draft. And this episode will start off with the most basic type of theory, which is best player available, BPA, or slash best value. So when you're scouting for the NFL draft, when you're doing your mock drafts, I want you to keep in mind, it's nice to look at all these other mock drafts. One of my favorite websites to look at is Walter Football, because they generally have very, very accurate drafts, and they come out with a mock draft like once or twice every week, which is nice. And that's something that I really like to look at and see why they pick those certain players. But when you're doing your mock drafts, don't go off of what somebody else says. In order for you to have success in this field, you need to be able to say, I don't care what everybody else thinks. This is, in my opinion, how this draft is going to go down. So when I have Jonathan Allen first overall to the Cleveland Browns, I don't care if people are putting Myles Garrett first overall. I don't care if people are putting Mitch Trubisky first overall. I don't care if they put Leonard Fournette overall first. I don't care. My personal opinion, and I will be coming out with a big board by either position or top 100 players very soon. I start school back on Tuesday, so it's going to be a bit tough. But I go off of who I think at their pick is their best option. And there are a lot of players that are Swiss Army knife type players or gadget players that you could put at any position and they'll succeed. But the issue with that is there's a lot of people who think that because they had so many different positions to play in college football and they've succeeded at so many, will they succeed at just one position? An example, Jabril Peppers from Michigan. I don't like the school, but when it comes to drafting, you need to put your bias aside. You got to think who has the best chance to be a star player, at least in the first round, for that specific team. So, for example, I don't like the Cincinnati Bengals, but that's not going to stop me from saying, okay, I think the best player for them would either be Reuben Foster or it would be Derek Barnett. And then I go into my explanation. So when it says best player available, and I was actually just looking at Walter Football's mock drafts, not saying this is ever going to happen because I do my own mock drafts. I have my own thoughts on different players. I might have somebody who a lot of people think could go in the first round, dropping into the second, or vice versa. So, a guy like Jabril Peppers, if I was going to say specifically towards the Pittsburgh Steelers, if Jabril Peppers falls to us, wherever we pick, I think he has us picking right around the 32, 31, 30, right around the 28, 29 spot. If Peppers falls to us around the 29 slot, I think it's a no-brainer. Jabril Peppers is a hell of an athlete. Whether it be playing safety, playing linebacker, playing kick and punt return, where I would see him best fit in Pittsburgh's system is sit him behind Mike Mitchell for a year. Have him play punt returns as our pure punt returner and potentially kick returns. And then kind of use him as a gadget player on defense, but really let him settle into the NFL life the first year. Really let him learn the system. And to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Mike Mitchell. I think once his contract's up, especially if we get a guy like Jabril Peppers, when his contract is up, he's gone. The Steelers won't re-sign him. So then right then and there, you would have Sean Davis, who would be developing into a very, very good, strong safety for us, and you would have Jabril Peppers at the free safety slot. But if you take a look at other positions, such as outside linebacker, which I think is another big need. Outside linebacker, safety, and corner are my top needs this year. If you look at outside linebacker, I've said for so long Carl Lawson's our guy. I've really started to grow to like Charles Harris from Missouri. And a lot of people really aren't talking about him because, to be honest, this draft has so many good players, and it's deep at each position. So Charles Harris really hasn't been talked about as a legitimate star first rounder. And I think he is. He's coming from Mizzou, who's produced very good, versatile linebackers that could play DN, could play outside linebacker, inside linebacker, D-tackle, like a Cam Hayward. So they've produced a lot of great talent, and Charles Harris is just the next guy in that lineup. But the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers has not been to draft Missouri players. We had the chance to take Shane Ray the year we took Bud Dupree, and we took Bud Dupree over Shane Ray. Granted, it's a bit of a different situation, but regardless. I think when it comes down to it, it's either going to be Peppers in the black and gold or Charles Harris in the black and gold. And I will put my name on that for now. It will most likely change after the combine, after their pro days, all those different kinds of things, because they're coming up soon. The Reese's Senior Bowl, it'll change after that. So for right now, my top two options for the first round, without the consideration of somebody like a Fournette dropping or a Cook dropping or a Quincy Wilson dropping or, so on and so forth, a Desmond King dropping. So for right now, my top 2/3 prospects would be Jabril Peppers, Charles Harris, and Desmond King. I think Desmond King's a first rounder. But the reason why I have him at number 3 is because this corner position in the NFL draft is so deep. So with that being said, it's still a bit broad from what I've said. I really haven't gotten to the specifics. But if you would like me to kind of talk you through it, you can direct message me on Facebook, or not Facebook, Instagram at Steel_, I don't know, this is really not working, at Steel_Jedi. You can talk to me about it there, direct message me, and we will talk about it. I'm willing to talk to anybody, regardless of who you like as a team. I just want to help the next generation of draft analysts, because I'm only a year into it, but I've learned a lot in that year. So with that being said, like, comment, subscribe. May the Steel be with you.